First and foremost, people, happy freaking New Year, man. We just stepped into 2022. Today is January 2nd. We just stepped into 2023. I'm sorry, we just stepped out of 2022. And I did everything I needed to do. I did what I needed to do in 2022. I planted seeds. I dug up the weeds in the garden. I did a lot of things that serve going into 2022, 2023, the purpose of what's what, right? Uh, how's your 2023 so far?
Well, I'm day two in. I got a great
Day
workout
two?
in. I'm starting off the new year healthy,
Yeah.
clean, no
Yeah.
liquor.
No liquor, no drugs.
Yeah,
Um,
fresh, new.
well, we started doing this no drug thing a while ago,
We're never doing drugs.
Well, I mean, weed, you feel what I'm saying? I stopped smoking weed a while ago.
I didn't smoke any weed in 2022.
I didn't smoke any weed in 2022 either. I probably took a hit in January 2022, but I stopped smoking weed, man. And honestly, I think a lot of people downplay why we should stop smoking weed, right? A lot of people, it's healthy, it is. But for a lot of the niggas I know personally, it slows us down, especially when we're in a position to be able to really further ourselves, our careers, health wise, this, that, and the third. Even going back into the health, right? We started off our 2022 in the gym, right? You were dealing with some things, and I'm sure you guys were dealing with some things as well. I've always struggled with issues of my weight. And I don't even think it was an issue per se. I think it was me not being disciplined and focused, which a lot of us struggle with. And we don't take into account that we have to do better at these things. You know what I'm saying? We have to do better at focusing ourselves and holding other people accountable. You feel what I'm saying? Because now more than ever, we have so much in the food and in the water. Being overweight shouldn't even be an issue for us, because we're dealing with so many things that are so many problems going on at a molecular level. You know what I mean? That I don't even think, salmon is eating other salmon now. We stopped salmon. You see what I'm saying? So I think that we have to be a lot more health conscious going into 2023, and not necessarily being restrictive. I think being able to shift what you're eating into a better alternative, a healthier alternative. You know what I mean? I have a sweet tooth. Because I have a sweet tooth, I need to cut out the artificial sweets and actually implement healthier sugars, living sugars. You feel what I'm saying? Things that like pineapple. I stopped eating pineapple for a minute because it's just highly acidic. But anyway, I just said that to say, listen, going into 2023, we have to be our healthier selves, people. You know what I mean? We have to be, my love, you look great. You dropped a lot of weight 2022. And I'm extremely proud of you for that. You know what I mean? I was just there to really hold you accountable. It helped that you have an in-home chef, but it worked out for you great. You know what I mean? And I ask that you hold myself accountable, and I'm gonna be holding y'all accountable too. I think that we have to hold each other accountable, especially doing what we're doing. But also going into 2023 and coming out of 2022, I want to talk about some of the newer laws that were implemented. You know what I mean? We had a couple. What was one of them? You can just, in any order. What was one of them?
Starting today, any child under the age of 12 will not be arrested or prosecuted for crimes under the in New York unless it's a homicide charge.
Okay, now, do not be sending these little niggas out to do y'all dirt. Do not. Because I promise you, I will knock one of these little niggas upside the head if they pull up to me doing some other stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Trying to rob niggas and all that. But I think that that's great. I think oftentimes, man, there are many people who are misled in such a negative way. They go to jail young, 16. I grew up with partners who went to jail early. You feel what I'm saying? 15, 16. Right, for robberies and breaking and entering, things like that, And I don't think that you should punish them as adults. So I'm actually fond of that. You know what I mean? A lot of people beg to differ, but if y'all was from where I'm from and y'all kind of seen that really transpire in a negative way, I think we should start giving our youth a better situation to even come out of. You know what I mean? What's another one? Just list a few.
Starting today, it's a felony in Missouri to sleep on state-owned land, like under overpasses and bridges. They'll be fined $750 and 15 days in jail.
So that's life for the homeless. Listen, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I'm from LA, right? I'm not from the posh part of LA. I know it may look like it, but I'm not from Baldwin Hills, right? I'm not from the hierarchy or the upper middle class neighborhoods and none of that. I grew up off 83rd and Fig, and I will say in Missouri that this may be a different situation, but in LA, we ain't worried about that. Niggas ain't worried about that. You feel what I'm saying? 15 days in jail or a fine. That's three hots in a cot. You know what I mean? These niggas will gladly accept that. So I don't think that that's really an issue. You know what I mean? Especially in LA and Missouri, I may have a different breakdown on how y'all do y'all things. But in LA, trust me, you giving niggas food and shelter for 15 days. That's roughly 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I think we need to start building on an actual solution for homelessness. And a lot of people may give me a little bit of slack for this, but and I don't care because y'all don't know nothing. I used to work in, a lot of the homeless are people who struggle with intellectual developmental disabilities, right? A lot of people who are hooked on substance abuse and alcoholism. And I think that we need better programs that are suited on getting them up and off of those substances as opposed to trying to cure homelessness. I don't think that there's a cure for homelessness, right? What I've noticed is a lot of these, okay, I'll break something down for y'all, which y'all maybe don't know, right? And this is a good insight to this thing. California is the only state in America that has regional centers, right? Regional centers are funded by the state. So if you have somebody who struggles with substance abuse, right? Let's say, for instance, you got somebody who, and in order to be a part of these regional centers, you deal with people who have developmental disabilities, right? Or just intellectual disabilities. So anywhere from autism to cerebral palsy to schizophrenia. A lot of schizophrenia is brought on by drugs, which a lot of people don't address. You see what I'm saying? It gets brought on by drugs. You hit the pookie stick once, all of a sudden you hearing shit. You feel what I'm saying? I've had an example of that in my family, and I'm sure you've had an example of that in yours. And we don't talk about that. We don't talk about people getting hooked on certain substances that take whatever that developmental or whatever that disability is, and it heightens it. You see what I'm saying? We need to get more of those. But anyway, back to my point. These regional centers are funded by the state, right? So in order to get a part of the regional center, I believe you have to have had a history of this, psychiatric or anything like that, before 18, right? That's how a lot of these people get checks. What happens is these regional centers deal with the private sector. So these people, they set up care homes and facilities, this, that, and the third. And what they do is they pretty much, I'm trying to see how I can put it. They take the money that they're getting from the state and they pay it out to these private sectors, right? These other homes to be able to provide housing for these people. And because they have staff employed, they have nurses employed, they have this, that, and the third employed. They take that money that they're getting. Sometimes it's from the actual person who's dealing with that, who's a part of the regional center. They take the money that they would necessarily be giving the regional center, they give it to them. All of these people are in cahoots. I've worked in for a company that was in this field as well, and I'll say that they're slacking. This part of this thing is slacking by a long shot. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that we need to do better on actually employing people who are, because you have to be a DSP, employing people who are actually trained. And I'm not talking about taking a class. I'm talking about actually trained and certified in this. because a lot of times you're paying these guys minimum wage to make sure that these people don't go back into the streets. And because the houses have so many rules, they go back into the streets, and they would rather be homeless. Coming back full circle, they'd rather be homeless than actually stay in these homes to where you have to be in at a certain time. You can't go AWOL. You can't do drugs. They give you unlimited cigarettes. You can smoke as many cigarettes as you want to. You can't drink. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a lot that deals with that, and hopefully I can bring on somebody from one of these regional centers who, you know what I mean, who kind of knows the game a lot better than I do. But because I work there, I kind of know a lot of the insides, and a lot of these people don't even care. They're there to collect their checks. You got people who are working, you know, night shift, which is 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning. They don't care. They sleep while these consumers is what they call them. They call them consumers. While these consumers are doing whatever they do. And a lot of these guys would rather be homeless on the street getting meth. I had a consumer that was like that. He'd rather be on the street and do X, Y, and Z. You know, because HIPAA protects a lot of the people from even speaking on who's who and what's what and their medical charts, because we have access to a lot of that. But one time they went AWOL and decided to do whatever it is that they do best. You know what I mean? And they, took a whole bus or a train or wherever back to wherever city they was from. You feel what I'm saying? Because they'd rather deal with that than actually face whatever needs to be faced. So it's a lot to that gets tricky. It's a lot. Go ahead.
Are there for those type of programs? Are there outreach for that? Because I feel like
the outreach is private sector.
But I'm saying, like, for the people who are homeless that don't maybe know that I'm pretty sure most people know that these resources are out there, but if they're not in that state of mind, like, are there people actually going out to try to bring these people in?
Well, what happens is you have to attach to a regional center unless you have a family who can actually, what the family does is the family takes care of this individual. So say for instance, you have somebody with cerebral palsy, right? You have a family member with cerebral palsy, a sister, this, that, and the third, or even a brother with schizophrenia. Now, he has, prior to him being 18, he had certain things, certain, how can I put it? Certain traits of it, right? He used to talk to a psychiatrist and da-da-da. Turn 18, all of a sudden, doing drugs, da-da-da, and you guys can't afford to take care of him. You put him in a regional center because he can't take care of himself. So a lot of these people can't drive. Some of them can, but a lot of these people can't drive. You know what I mean? Because they have intellectual disabilities. A lot of people are meth. They're on meth. Heavy. You feel what I'm saying? And not only that, they're taking a lot of medication. So if you can't take care of them, you put them in a regional center. The regional center, either they stay there or they get in the private sector, which is where somebody was pretty much set up. They buy these homes and they put the consumers in the homes, and they pretty much take care of them with the staff that they have staffed. So a lot of investors invest in that kind of, because it is lucrative. You know what I mean? And it's like Section 8, but it's for it's the same principle as Section 8. Like, you getting your money on time every first of the month, da-da-da-da. Like, it's very much so like that. And then they have these people who are case managers and case workers who pretty much take care of these people. But, that's a whole nother thing, and maybe we'll talk more about that, because I think that needs to be discussed as well. But going back to the people in Missouri, you know what I mean? Some of them don't want to be in cribs.
Some of them might be vets who lost their minds.
Right.
PTSD.
But that's why I say
their information to go to the VA.
And that's why I say we need better. We need better programs that are geared toward getting these people actually healthy. They don't want to get them healthy. They want to take the money that they could be getting. Or if they come to LA, they want to take the money that the regional centers are giving them, because this is state funded. The state has a budget for these regional centers, and there are a lot. You know what I mean? Very lucrative, very. So I think that we need more developmental programs to get these people up and off these substances, and be able to give them an actual outlet that they can. You know what I mean? There are day programs. They have all of that. Anyway, what's the next law? Because I need to get into that a lot more. But a lot of people don't know about that game. That's a game that a lot of investors, especially in the private, especially black investors, they dip into. Because if they can put their money up, pull their money together, buy a home, lease that home out to X, Y, and Z. Or if we start that program, take that money, put it into a home, house RNs, LVNs, certain people, and make sure that everything is sanctioned and everything is, and I'd really be into that, because I feel like because I know the ins and outs of that. I should probably get into that, but that may be something we get into later. What's another one?
In Michigan and in Florida, they're required to take financial literacy courses to graduate high school.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
They need to put that everywhere.
They need to put that everywhere. That's only in Michigan?
Yeah, and in Florida.
They need to bring that to LA. A lot of these kids are going into extreme debt to go into colleges that don't pay. The wages that they get after colleges don't make up for the debt that they put themselves into, the holes that they put themselves into, trying to get a college degree to appease whatever. I think that we need to teach kids how to dream bigger and how to be critical and analytical thinkers, as opposed to putting them in debt, in the hole. You feel what I'm saying? As soon as they graduate.
And a lot of time, financial literacy is not taught in the homes because our parents are not financially literate, because they're still paying off the debt that they acquired from going to school.
And that's why I love Earn Your Leisure, man. Shout out to those guys, man. They help us.
I just found out about them a couple days ago.
They help us. I've been looking at Earn Your Leisure for, I think the pandemic hit, 2019? I was tapped into Earn Your Leisure top of 2019. And they taught me a lot about just a lot of things. I remember when they was doing the stocks heavy. You know what I mean? And they were talking about the stocks, and they were doing a lot of that. Yeah, you already got it pulled up. They was talking about a lot of that. And they really put us up on game on how this money works, right? We think that we're supposed to work for money. You know what I mean? I apologize. We think that we're supposed to trade our time for money, when that is not how the wealthy become wealthy, right? It's a slow grind. It really is. It's a slow grind on you making money. If you have a job, use that money, use that extra earned income. Stop going out on weekends. Put that money into whatever the case is. Life insurance is one of the biggest ways that Black people can boost wealth amongst ourselves, right? Number one, we all gonna die. Number two, the FDIC puts out a statement about what a lot of banks invest in, and life insurance is one of those things. And I learned that by really just looking under the rocks. Like I said, the point of this podcast and this program is to not leave any stone unturned. And if I'm wrong, please feel free to get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all don't think. But life insurance is one of the best way for us to be able to exponentially become wealthy in a matter of generations, right? If we have older parents, we need to have life insurance policies on them. They need to have life insurance policies on us too. We need to be able to have whole life insurance policies that we can be able to pump our money into, take that cash value out. When it matures, take that money out of that policy. Not all of it, just enough to be able to invest in something else. You know what I mean? And we need to. And my uncle and I, we talked about that on Thanksgiving, and I think that was one of the turning points of really that holiday season, was us talking about that. And he said he was going to be setting his kids up with X, Y, and Z. And I love that, because I don't have anybody to set me up. That's why I do everything that I do now, from the music to the podcast, to things like that. And as you can see, I got Pro Tools pulled up right now because I'm mixing some things down. But financial literacy is paramount. It is imperative that we teach our children this. And better yet, it's imperative that we actually start to look for the information and seek the information and seek the knowledge and go to people who are wealthy and ask them how did they do it. You know what I mean? And ask them about real estate, about life insurance, about great investments that, you know what I mean, may not be real estate. Everybody doesn't want to get into real estate, but one thing everyone needs is life insurance. You know what I mean? That's one of the ways I got to where I am now. My father had a life insurance policy, passed away. I took a little bit of money that he got. My sister got his pension. She bought a home. She took care of her family in that way. I dabbled into this. I invested into me all of that money. It's gone. It's been gone. I bought me a car. I paid it off. This is it. You know what I mean? I started a company with my brothers, and even that had its ups and downs with it, and taxes and figuring out that whole game. Financial literacy, people, is one of the most important things ever. Before you go buy the Benz, I bought the Benz. I know what that feels like. Bought the watch, know what that feels like. Took the vacations, know what that shit feels like. Trust me, there's nothing more fulfilling than being able to have, and we call it passive income, but nothing is passive about it. Nothing is passive about it. You have to think your way through the steps, right? And be able to invest in those assets that bring you money back. I love music because it's intellectual property. I can make music for maybe with my subscription, let's say a few $100 a month. I can take that money. I went to school for engineering so I can run sessions. Now that brings me in another level of money. I can actually take that money that I'm running from sessions, put it into the music, make more money. Music is a very passive if you do it right. You know what I mean? Because I only have to do the song one time. That's it. I don't have to do the song every day for me to be able to make $100 a day. I do the song one time. I make a great record. I put it out for you guys to see. You guys look at it. You guys go see the video. You guys see the podcast. And y'all say, I wonder what this nigga music sounds like. Trust me, it's great. We take that music, we put it in the sync, we put it in the licensing. They pay out royalties based on that. Sometimes it's upfront. Sometimes they may give you a sync and a usage fee. They give you that money up front, and then from there you get the money on the back end. I've done commercials. I've done TV. Next is movies, soundtracks, big soundtracks. And I do want to say that we have to get better at financial literacy. We have to stop trading our time for money. We have to be able to use our time, make great product, one good product, pump it to the masses, make content around it, right? Whether you podcast, right? Whether you're a dancer, shit, put this phone up and dance. I stopped using my camera because I wanted to use the phone because I think that that's a better way for us to show how much power is in our phones, right? We have Apple products. We have all of these things. I think that we have to utilize them to our advantage. And I'm such a fan of financial literacy because I watched my mom work 40 years. I watch her work. Well, I didn't watch her work 40 years. I'm not 40, but I watched her work so much overtime for the city just for her to retire and get tickets to the fucking Rams game. Are you kidding me? This shit is, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I want to be able to continue to elevate my game, invest in assets. That way I never have to work a day in my life. I told my cousin I was going, I'll be able to retire by 30, and I'm on track. You know what I mean? Even though I love to work, right? That's just what I do. I love to get up and I love to get at it. But I think that that's a thing that we have to get over. Financial literacy is very much so important.
So outside of Earn Your Leisure, are there any other resources to gain financial literacy that you would recommend?
Off top of my head, what are some of the things to
or
gain?
Maybe even books.
You know what? Books, Learn to Earn. I'm a book person. I'm not really. Learn to Earn by Peter Lynch. It's a great book for growing up, young people. It's a great book. Cooley, wake up over there. My dog over there is snoring. You need to hear this. Nah, he's good. He's good. Learn to Earn by Peter Lynch, one of the great books. Think and Grow Rich. Money is practical, people, right? Money is not something that we can't have in abundance, right? Everybody can be rich, right? There's this famous thing about, I forgot who actually said it, but if we were all rich, we would find ways to pay for entertainment. You know what I mean? And y'all can dig deeper into that. I'm not about to go into that because that's not what we're here for. But those are some of the books that I would read. I'm a person of principle, right? I love, what do the wealthy have as far as when it comes to principles? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that mean? You feel me? Principles. That's the thing for me. Like, what are the principles of money? The Psychology of Money. Great book. Y'all need to read that. Great book. Yeah, that's pretty much what I would use. YouTube, man. Get on YouTube. Look up life insurance, look up financial literacy, and I think from there you'll be able to kind of dig deeper into it. You know what I'm saying? Was there any more news? No?
No, I mean, starting yesterday, it's illegal to sell fur. Like fur coats.
Listen, fur always busting. Fur always busting. I do want to kind of move into my next point of family business. Listen, keep that shit to yourselves. No one's family is perfect, whether you rich, broke, indifferent. No one's family is perfect, whether you white, black, polka dot, blue, or gray. Keep your family business to yourself, right? The internet is relentless for trolls. The internet is relentless, man. We have to keep our family business to ourselves because people are unforgiving and people don't understand that. Just like Romeo and P. Miller was going through what they were going through, you and your mama and your dad, most of y'all ain't even got daddies. I know my pops passed away when I was young. You feel what I'm saying? I think that if we have an issue with our parents, we need to go to them about it in secret, in private, and be able to hash those things out. Do therapy, hash those things out. You know, we get on here and we talk about money amongst motherfuckers who don't even know us. I'm not a fan of that. You feel what I'm saying? My mother and I, we've had our discrepancies, as we all have. I don't think that that's something that you air out amongst people, especially on the internet, because that's forever.
Even biblically, it says not to do that, to like handle your differences amongst.
Listen, in private. If you have a disagreement, have that in private. You never gonna see me arguing with a motherfucker out here on the internet. That's not what I do. I'm bigger than that. Always have been, always will be. I'm not gonna argue with you in the comments, right? Because what I say is what I say. And I mean that shit. I usually don't apologize for what I've said, even if it does offend people, because I'm very tactful in what I say. That way it doesn't offend people. But I only speak on what I know, and when I don't, I call up experts and I ask how they feel about it and what they know to be true and factual. Unless I have real world experience, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. But most of the time, we speak quickly on things that don't really involve us. Romeo, keep that shit between you and your pops. I'm sure you could have went to your pops and y'all could have hashed that out like men do. You feel what I'm saying? Because I wish that I could go to my pops and hash out a few issues that we had growing up. You feel what I'm saying? And it'd be like, Pops, why does shit go like this? You feel what I'm saying? But also my issues are not his issues. And I have another way of dealing with it because I come from a real family. You feel what I'm saying? None of my family, we're not on TV, right? I'm the one that does the podcasting, the music, the TV, the film, this, that, and the third, the social media. A lot of my other relatives don't do that. So because of that, if I have an issue, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna put it on the record. And I'm gonna make sure not to say no name. That way I keep it very much so open-ended. But keep your family business to yourself, because honestly, these people don't want to hear that shit. They just get off on trolling on it. They get off on laughing at your issues. P. Miller is a role model to a lot of us. You feel what I'm saying? We have to stop tearing down each other's legacies because we don't think it's right. So because my moms ain't gonna hear me, because pops ain't gonna hear me, I'm gonna get out here on social media where people really don't give a fuck about none of us. That ain't what we do. We have to get better at that. We have to get smarter, and we have to wake up, people. You know, we don't have enough black men in our homes in the first place. The ones we do have, we ought to not tear them down and run them off. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm sure he can only take so much as a father who's done what he knew best. They from the hood of Louisiana, New Orleans. They from the hood. You feel what I'm saying? I done been to NOLA. Shit ain't sweet. If you think the hood in LA is bad, go to NOLA. It's very different. Very different.
So speaking on hashing things out on the internet, do you think that last situation where Andrew Tate opened the door for him to get caught up the way he did?
I think with Andrew Tate, number one, I want to say this, right? And I kind of wrote it down. His principles are more important than his tactics. The principles of Andrew Tate are far more important as to what he's saying than what he's saying, if that makes sense. His tactic, not as tactical. The principles very much so in sync with what a lot of young men deal with and what a lot of young men go through. Going back to, we don't have enough men in our households. We don't. A lot of people don't grow up with their dads, right? And then we can't hold our mothers accountable because, well, that's all we had. Every mother is not perfect, I guarantee you. And a lot of these men are not in the household because of the rifts that him and the mother had, which is between them. None of my business. But I will say that we don't we crucify Andrew Tate for what he says, but a lot of young men look at what he's saying, and if you break down the principles of get to fucking shape, right? Get to some money. A job is not going to get you to the money, right? A lot of these are the principles. How to deal with women, right? He's very much so disciplined in how he deals with women. Now, a lot of people call him a superhero. I don't think that. I take what I want and I leave the rest, right? I don't idolize Andrew Tate by any means necessary. I don't even necessarily look up to him as a figure, right? Does he make great points? He does. Is he going through what he's going through? He is. Does he talk about X, Y, and Z, the Matrix, this, that, and the third? He does, right? So let's not act like he's perfect, because he's not. But he teaches young men to be self-sufficient. He teaches young men to, him and his brother have a crib together. I know niggas right now who are brothers who don't have their own crib, right? They don't. A lot of them are still living with their mamas, still living with their daddies, still living with their parents, when in actuality, they both making bread to where they can put their money together, buy something, you feel what I'm saying, and go from there. You know what I mean? But they're not doing that. So I think that I think that has its issues in itself. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how many sisters do you know are doing that?
I don't know that many sisters, but I do know a few brothers that do it.
It's only smart.
Yeah.
You may have the credit, but I got the bread. Well, nigga, we gonna get the car in. That's how we gonna get the cars. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that the principles are more important than the tactics. He shouldn't be your superhero. He should be somebody that you learn from and not somebody that you laugh at. So, you know, he was arrested in Romania in human trafficking, but he's out. You feel what I'm saying? So, like he said, whatever they was gonna try to do, either they're gonna kill you off or stick you in the institution. I got a record that talks about that. When you start to get to speaking that shit, you know what I mean? Because they are trying to feminize a lot of men, right? Masculinity is toxic now. If you speak what's on your heart and you believe in what you say, that's toxic now. Mm-hmm. We can't speak what we really feel because it's toxic. You know what I mean? So he said he was going to do what he was going to do, and he did it, right? That's the highest level of masculinity you can get to, a nigga who keeps his word, a man who keeps his word. We don't have that no more. You feel what I'm saying? A man who's on time, a man who's diligent. We don't have that no more. You know what I mean? So our brother's keepers. We not our brother's keepers no more. You know what I mean? So somebody like him hits the internet, it was a big thing because there was nobody out there filling up that space. So I say Andrew Tate is somebody we can learn from, not somebody that we should crucify. You know what I mean? What he's doing with these women, I don't know what he's doing, what he not doing. I wasn't there. Honestly, for someone who's been in jail, I don't trust the system. I don't trust lawyers. I don't trust the courts. I don't trust judges. I just don't. It's all a money grab. These are niggas who all went to school with each other. I don't trust anything that they're saying. I just don't. The prosecutors went to school with the public defenders. The public defenders were in the same class as the attorneys. The attorney general, district, whatever the fuck they are. It's all a money grab. You see what they done did to Tory. I don't know whether he did it or whether he didn't. Not my business. Not my concern. I think these are people that we should learn from. Take what we want, take the best, leave the rest. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of one of those things. Even going back to Young Thug, if convicted, he may get life. These niggas done told on Thug. Gunna told. Yes, Gunna told. Nigga was out by Christmas. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all gotta understand, we're living in such a turbulent time. Like, it's bad out here. It is bad out here. right? Y'all got these rap niggas. These rap niggas ain't real niggas. I can guarantee you that. I'm not no rap nigga. I'm a nigga who rap. And because I'm a nigga who rap, and because what I say is my word is bond, a lot of shit I don't say because I can't say. You feel what I'm saying? But Nari don't tell no lies and none of that shit. This game is fugazi. It's full of counterfeits. It's full of fakes. It's full of illusions, and that's what this game is. It's full of niggas who not real niggas. They got put on by real niggas, and now they snitching on those niggas. It's a lot of that. You know what I mean? So it's very much so. It's a very dangerous game that we playing. Very dangerous game. That's why y'all gotta be more careful of the rappers that y'all putting in the position. I'm not saying y'all gotta pick me because I ain't no pick me ass nigga, but I will say that we have to be a lot more careful with the people that we are putting in the position, because these are not the people y'all really want to be like when the mask comes down. You know what I mean? So we got to get better at that. We pushing poison. We pushing rats. We pushing people who are not being authentic. Right? If you a snitch, nigga, be a snitch. I told my homies the other day, listen, nigga, I love my family. Love my family. I love waking up next to a lovely lady. I love that shit. I love that shit, nigga. I'm a real nigga. If it's my gun, nigga, it's my gun. If it's my dope, it's my dope. You niggas is afraid to go to jail. That's what I don't rock with. Because if it was me, I'd take the heat. But nigga, you want to be in my car with whatever you got and a pistol, and then you want to say, well, nigga, don't tell. Well, nigga, that ain't my gun.
Niggas want to do the crime but don't want to do the time.
When did niggas start doing that? When did we start doing that? When did we start not being real? When do we start leaving guns in cars and not claiming your burner? That's crazy to me. Nah, nigga, that's my gun. Nah, nigga, that's my dope. Nah, nigga, that's mine. Officer, that's mine. But nah, nigga, so now they want to pin all four of us up when we rolling in a Toyota for one gun. And now we all going down for that gun. Is that nigga not so? Nigga, that ain't my gun. Whose gun is it? Nigga, that's his gun. Fuck you, nigga. That's not, you not being real, because you not telling the police that's your gun. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I think Waco, Texas, right? It was a shooting that left like 9 people dead. It was a biker gang against a biker gang. I don't know the details. All I know is it was in Waco. Niggas went down. Bodies dropping. Niggas is shooting out, right? Nobody went down because nobody told. You see what I'm saying? That's a different situation. If we all do a heist and they try to get us on whatever hearsay and nobody tell, that's different. But nigga, if we in a car, come on, my nigga. They gonna plant the gun on somebody, or they gonna hit us with all the same charges. I'm not doing that for no nigga. I done been to jail for a gun. Didn't know, a nigga ain't bailed me out. I'll say that. It wasn't no nigga who bailed me out. It wasn't no nigga who kept it 100. So because of that, I don't do no. I ain't going down for no nigga gun, for no nigga dope, for no nigga none of that. Stay away from me. I'm telling on y'all. I'm telling. It's not mine. It's not mine. Because if it was mine, I'd say it's mine. I was about to bust a move today. And God said, you know what? You cannot afford to swing and miss. Because if you miss, that's going to be a hell of a miss. And ain't nobody going to take that trip over that water to come get me. So because of that, we have to think. Because I ain't going to snitch. Because I'm the one who got caught. We got to start being a lot more. We got to start being real. Y'all around phony balonies and y'all trying to get upset about that.
Or we need to just stop doing stuff that's going to land us in situations that we can't handle.
Yeah, but for a lot of niggas, it's survival. For a lot of people, I gotta keep the lights on. I gotta keep the lights on. I gotta provide for mine, right? So I gotta go take this mission. I gotta go bust this jug. I gotta go do da. I gotta go risk this, cause I got a girl to feed and she pregnant. I can't take her alone. She gonna slow me down. She don't need to be involved in this. She carrying my baby. You feel what I'm saying? Like I got people I gotta take care of. You think as a man I'm not gonna take that risk? I'm gonna for sure take that risk. But I'm not gonna put anybody else in the harm's way. Right? You feel what I'm saying? You wanna get away with some shit? Do it dolo. Do it by yourself. Do it by yourself. You doing dirt? Do it dolo. Do it dolo, because a lot of you niggas is snitching. Problem is, I don't snitch. I'm just gonna tell the truth. I ain't no snitch. I ain't no rat ass nigga. Never have been. But if we in a core, ain't my gun his gun. I don't care what y'all say. Fuck that. It's not my gun, officer. Can I go home now? Whose gun is it? You can. My prints ain't on it. My gun at home, because I'm smart. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, we just got to get better with that. But let's see. Is there anything else we even need to touch on? I'm trying to see. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it.
I wouldn't touch on too many topics because they could be different episodes.
They can definitely be different episodes.
I would rather you just, like, if you want it to be long.
Oh, I got something. All right, so I had a conversation with somebody I consider a mentor. I consider somebody I can bounce great ideas off of. I consider him a friend, and very much so someone who has inspired me to do great things in this music business. And I asked him, I said, bro, why do so many people come to you with their hands out? I never see people coming to you with an actual plan. They come to you with their hands out. And he was kind of taken back by that, because oftentimes when we look at whatever you want to call them, multimillionaires, millionaires, people who are successful, people who are wealthy, and I always talk about that because I aspire to be that. I aspire to be multimillionaires, and breed other multimillionaires and billionaires, right? I want to do 500,000. You know what I mean? Monthly, like numbers like that. I want to do hundreds of millions, right? Monthly, yearly. Like, I want to do those things, and I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to do that, as long as that's in my plan. You feel what I'm saying? But I will say we have to stop, man. Coming to the people we aspire to be like, right? To the people that we look at what they're doing and we say, I love that. We got to stop coming in with our hands out. I don't come to no nigga with my hands out. I'm not no charity case. I don't come to no nigga with my hands out, right? I'm going to continue to push content, push records, push my agenda as far as possible until I can't anymore, until I can't any longer. We got to start coming to people with plans. I don't come to y'all with my hands out. I'm not really asking for nothing. I'm coming to y'all with a plan. This what I'm doing. This is how we can build together. So I just had to say that because 2023 is the year that we're not coming to niggas with plans. We're not coming to that. We're not coming to niggas with
No plan.
with our hands out. We coming to the people that we love and we care about with plans. We gotta come with a plan. We gotta come with something that we have on our heart that we can add to the table. We have to be more valuable to it. And actually, in the last episode 2, I just gave y'all my plan. I gave y'all my plan to how we gonna do this thing. Gave y'all my plan to make anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000 a month. I gave it to y'all, and I'm excited for that. You see what I'm saying? I'm excited for that. So, yeah, 2023, man, we just gonna post this and get this one up out the way, and then we're gonna kind of dive deeper into a few more things. I kind of want to get some people on, but I do want to start having episodes like this where I kind of just sit back and we had that conversation, and I say some things to make y'all think. I want to start boosting the frequency on the episodes that we do. So let's continue to build, y'all. I love y'all. Continue to go back to the other episodes. We're going to post these on YouTube. Shout out to Anchor. We're going to be doing a lot of things on Anchor. Videos are going to be on Spotify. We're getting into Apple Podcasts. We're getting into Amazon now. We're getting all of these things up and running. But consistency is key, guys, and persistence is how you make it a reality, right? Being able to do this through and through, whatever the situation may look like. So let's continue to build. I love y'all, man. Happy New Year's. And make sure to stay tuned to the sit down with your boy, Jesse Janari. We out.